Here's a fun fact about me. I can play many different instruments. Now, of course, my main instrument is the oboe, and I've been playing that for about 8 years now. But before that, I'd been taught how to play guitar and percussion. Going into my freshman year, I wanted to join the marching band, so I learned the flute because oboe is not a marching instrument. And I thought the flute was so cool that I wanted to be able to play the piccolo as well, so I did. Later on, I learned about the cousin instrument to the oboe, the bassoon, and I learned that as well over the summer. Eventually, I learned about its even closer cousin, the English horn, and I played that in various honors orchestras and festivals. My junior year, I found out that none of the instruments I played were actually compatible with jazz, even though I love jazz oboe, so you can guess what I did. I learned the tenor saxophone. And that has very similar fingerings to the alto and bari saxophones as well. All of this is to say that I know my instruments. My dad, on the other hand, has always told me how much he regrets learning all the instruments he did because he felt like he was never able to reach his full potential at piano, his main instrument. Which, it seems kind of counterintuitive, but I've actually found that between the different instruments I play, there aren't very many differences in the way of practicing. I'm actually better off for knowing how the different techniques and fingerings of all of my instruments are related. And this isn't just me. Most band directors are actually required to learn all of the instruments as well, to some extent. And while almost every single band director I've ever talked to has told me just how much they hated playing oboe in great detail, I'm sure learning other instruments has been very beneficial for them, not only for teaching, but also for improving at their own instruments. The thing is, even though I play in our marching band and wind ensemble, all of our honors orchestras and honors festivals, and even a youth orchestra outside of school, I have never taken a private lesson. Not even for the oboe, which begs the question for some, am I even really that good at my own instrument? Why am I spending all this other time on all these other instruments if I'm not already the best I can be at my own instrument? So many band and orchestra directors take into consideration during auditions whether the student is or is not taking private lessons. And it's not that I don't have the money for private lessons or I don't want to put in the time or effort. Contrary to popular belief, I actually do practice my instruments. While I'm not saying there's nothing to learn from private lessons, I am saying that I personally learn better on my own. Which begs the question, which should be more desirable or sought after? Being a jack of all trades or a master of one? For a long time now, this has had me reflecting on the common saying, a jack of all trades is a master of none, because this implies that if someone doesn't spend all of their time on their main skill, that they can never master it. And while a lot of people stop there, according to the Forbes article titled, "Why Being a Jack of All Trades is Essential for Success," the full saying is actually, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Furthermore, a master of one was actually seen as a useless person, while a jack of all trades was a compliment. The quote was actually used to describe William Shakespeare and the way he'd learned all of the jobs and roles he could on play sets in order to fill in wherever he was needed, and eventually became one of the most well-known playwrights in history. This is similar to the way that I am able to fill in for just about any instrument in any band or orchestra wind section that I need to. The Forbes article went on to say that knowledge across many areas can combine to create well-rounded experts. Broader knowledge leads to greater understanding and being better able to advise clients across multiple areas. It is not adequate to specialize and turn a blind eye to other influences. And I take this to mean that whether you're well-rounded in your profession or just a hobby, it will always be more important than just specializing in one specific area and calling it a day. I'm so grateful to have been able to have the opportunity to learn so many instruments to become better at the oboe. And this is why I would consider myself a jack of many trades, but a master of only a couple. Thank you.